If your parent needs long-term care, one of the biggest questions families ask is, how much money can you actually have and still qualify for Medicaid? And the answer is complicated. Because Medicaid has both income limits and asset limits, and the rules change depending on your state, whether care is at home or in a nursing facility, and whether someone is married. Today, I'm going to simplify the Medicaid financial rules families struggle with most, so you can stop guessing and start planning. One of the biggest Medicaid myths is this: you have to be completely broke. That's not actually true. Medicaid does have financial eligibility rules, but many assets do not count the way families think they do. And there are legal planning strategies that can protect spouses, homes, and certain resources if planning happens correctly. The real issue is understanding what counts, what doesn't count, and what limits apply in your situation. Let's start with income. In many states for 2026, the Medicaid long-term care income limit for one person is around $2,982 per month. Income can include Social Security, pension income, IRA withdrawals, employment income, annuity payments, and investment income. But here's what confuses families. Even if someone is over the income limit, they may still qualify. Some states allow special pathways for applicants whose income exceeds the standard Medicaid limit. That may include a qualified income trust, also called a Miller Trust, or a medically needy program that allows excess income to be applied toward medical expenses. So being over the limit does not automatically mean denial. That's why families should never assume we make too much. Now let's talk about assets. In many states, the Medicaid asset limit for a single applicant is around $2,000 in countable assets. Countable assets may include bank accounts, cash savings, investments, some retirement accounts, and extra properties. But many important assets are often exempt. Depending on the situation, exempt assets may include a primary home, one vehicle, personal belongings, household items, and certain burial arrangements. This is where families panic unnecessarily because they hear $2,000 limit and assume everything must be spent. That's not how Medicaid works. Now here's where things become even more important. If one spouse needs care and the other spouse still lives at home, Medicaid has protections designed to prevent the healthy spouse from becoming impoverished. In 2026, many states allow the healthy spouse to keep over $160,000 in certain assets through what's called the Community Spouse Resource Allowance. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of Medicaid planning. Families often think, we'll lose everything, but proper planning can dramatically change the outcome. Now let's talk about the mistake families make most often: giving assets away too late. Medicaid has a 5-year look-back period for long-term care applications. That means Medicaid reviews financial transfers made during the previous 5 years. If assets were gifted improperly, it can trigger a penalty period that delays eligibility. And this is exactly why families should avoid random internet advice, DIY transfers, and last-minute panic gifting. The timing matters, the documentation matters, and the strategy matters. Here's the most important thing I want families to understand. Medicaid eligibility is not just about numbers. It's about timing, documentation, care level, state-specific rules, and planning decisions. Two families with the exact same finances can have very different outcomes based on when they planned, how organized they are, and whether they understand the system. That's why LTCFAQ focuses on clarity, organization, and decision support, because long-term care planning is rarely just financial, it's operational. If you're trying to figure out whether your parent may qualify for Medicaid, what assets actually count, or what steps to take before applying, start with the LTCFAQ checklist below. Because the earlier you understand the rules, the more options you usually have. And if this helps simplify Medicaid for you, subscribe for more long-term care guidance designed for real families navigating difficult decisions.